folks. First of all, a quick look at some of the drawings from last week. We had the grilled cheese.
Oh my gosh.
Grilled
These
cheese
are so
in love.
cute.
Because, again, everyone needs to know how to draw grilled cheese in love. This is Amy Payne. We have Christy Ward's contribution here.
So cute. Those little smiles.
What else we got? Helen Deal. She's got a good one. I like that with the little cross hatches.
Yes.
And then we got Rachel Ringley. Put hers in. I think all greats. We got, we get a bunch every week and we pick some of our favorite ones. But thank you guys for sharing them.
Yes.
If you drew the snow cone with us today, feel free to send that to kj@escapeadulthood.com. Maybe we'll share your creation on next week's show. But little levity here. It's getting close. I know in Wisconsin, it's different everywhere, but in Wisconsin, we're slowly opening up, which the main thing that means is that hairdressers are opening, which is good.
This is what every hairdresser is seeing walking through their doors this week, right?
Yeah, it's like, where do I even begin, right? But I wanted to share, we got a video a couple weeks ago from an Adultitis fighter who I was just so blown away by her initiative to bring joy and ice cream to her fellow neighbors. So Stacey Harris sent in a video, and I just want to show you guys because what she did was awesome.
Okay, so I've been listening to Brene Brown's book, The Power of Vulnerability, and she's talking about play and the importance of play. So this is my version of play. I'm turning my car into an ice cream truck. And if somebody smiles at us or waves, they get free ice cream. And so we got it all decked out. We've got social distancing equipment. Give it to them on a platter. I can hardly wait. It's going to be so much fun. Masks, we got gloves. So we're just spreading the love, helping others have fun during this pandemic.
Oh,
this is why I love you people.
Her enthusiasm.
Like the enthusiasm, that devilish smile, that devilish laugh.
Little rainbow sweatshirt.
Giddiness, like that is what we're all about here. Is just bringing light to people, doing those little things, right? So
we should have given her our address.
Yeah, I don't even know where she lives. But
I have no idea.
She should come to our house and give her smiles for
ice cream. Yeah.
Right. So we're very excited because for the last 3 or 4 years, every month we award an Adultitis Fighter of the Month. And we thought we need to be talking about this on our show because these are like some of the cream of the crop people. So this month's Adultitis Fighter for May is Dan Fitzpatrick.
We need the kids cheering for this, for sure. And Dan's in the chat tonight, so thanks for being with us, Dan.
This guy
Congratulations.
is awesome. He is, a couple things. That's him on the right. I don't know if that's your right or my, I don't know. The one that looks like Gru in the Minions. That's him. And he is a science teacher, and he's really into nature. And I think they might be tapping trees here. I'm not exactly sure, but he's always doing something in nature. And in his profile that we have on our website, there are a couple things from Dan I wanted to share. He said, every day I try to see the world from a 2-year-old's eyes. I pride myself on being a rule breaker. I'm always asking, what are the actual consequences if I try this? And I think that's what a lot of people do is they don't do stuff and they don't actually ask like what would happen if I actually did it. And the weird thing is that most of the time something good would come of it, but we don't even bother to do that. This was also awesome. We always ask Adultitis Fighters of the Month what their strategy for dealing with people who are obviously infected with adultitis. And Dan said, everyone has a hobby or something they're excited about. It always helps to find out about it and share some enjoyment, which is a good point because anytime you can get someone to talk about themselves, we love to talk about ourselves. So that's a really great way to break the ice, get rid of some of the grumpiness and get them talking about something they're excited about. But my favorite part is he shared these ideas. And if you don't take advantage of one of these, you're doing it wrong. He says, at a boring meeting, it's fun to make things a game. See how close you can move a paperclip to someone. Pretend you're a secret agent, and this will download all of the info from their phone. And I just envision it like you don't do it all at once, right? That's obvious. You just do like little nudge.
This is like a Jim-ism from The Office,
right? I think that's what I love about it,
right?
He says if you have a conspiring friend, make it so you have to do something every time the presenter says this. So maybe wink or move the paperclip. I don't know. And then if you are in charge of presenting something, I might have to take him up on this. See how many times you can add something like a Sasquatch to the group document and see if people can find it during your presentation. Kind of like your own Where's Waldo, right? Like,
right, Marty, right. Yeah.
Brilliant. That's brilliant. And that's why he is an Adultitis Fighter of the Month. So thank you, Dan, for being awesome. We appreciate that.
I have to say, Dan was in our Wonder Hunt course in the fall, and every time I would see his posts, it just filled me with joy. Your perspective on life, Dan, is so unique. So thank you for sharing it all with us and being an example for everybody.
Sarah says, love it. What are the actual consequences, right?
What a good question.
We just stop with, I'm not supposed to do that, but we don't think about what are the actual consequences, right? Okay, so a couple more really good ones. Jen Jones sent this to me. She said one of the things that she's done during this pandemic is she does little daily art prompts, these little notebook, and I thought this was pretty rad. This is the moon, and I told her, I said, I can't not see. Can you see E.T. flying over across the moon? Like I want to draw a little E.T. on a bike there or something like that. So that was pretty cool.
It's beautiful.
And Paul Tracy here, looks like he has our 2020 Celebrate Everything calendar. And the other day was Paper Airplane Day.
And he has been doing different things during his lunch hour to fight adultitis. And I believe he was having some fun with some paper airplanes. Look at the colored paper, no less.
I know. He doesn't just do it halfway. He's got the colored paper.
So, rock on, Paul.
Now, we hyped at the beginning of the show this thing about whipped cream.
Oh my gosh.
This is
something else, you guys.
Ironically,
buckle in.
This comes from Scott Ginsburg, who was, I don't know if he was last month or the month before's Adultitis Fighter of the Month.
Right.
And this just proves why he was selected. So he, just in passing, I was talking to him the other day, and in passing, he talks about it was Brittany, his wife's birthday, and they were going to do their annual, like, whipped cream fight or whipped cream war.
Just annual
it was like, that's what people do.
Right.
And I'm like, what? What is this now?
How did I miss this?
And he, like, just kind of explained it, and, like, it didn't really sink in all the way until after I thought about it. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And I'm like, you need to tell me more things about this. You need to give me pictures. You need to tell me stuff.
Oh, he did.
And so he did. Yeah. And he sent along some things. So here he is. This is basically how it started. We had the idea to do it a few years ago and honestly couldn't find a single reason not to do it. Kind of goes back to dancing. What are the consequences? Yeah. There are none.
Right.
Always wanted to. We bought lots of cans and tubs, packed a cooler, went to the park in our swimming suits, and just went at each other. Cost like $18 for unlimited joy. What were the results? Version 1, we made a mistake of using cans. He was clear on this.
Really good.
They have sharp tips, and it caused him to accidentally draw blood from my wife's leg.
Pro tip, use the tubs.
Use the tubs.
Right.
Tubs only. Use your hands. No metal, and you don't have to deal with chemicals and gravity, which is good. His tip, freeze the whipped cream tubs overnight so it's easier to pack in ball form. Think snowballs versus packed powder.
Okay.
Tightly packed versus like powder. It's better for throwing. Also, he says the coldness of whipped cream feels nice on a hot day, unless it goes down your pants. Duly noted. Interesting. Another tip. This is part of the reason why I needed to feature this is because he gave such good tips. Whipped cream fights are best when structured, since it's easy to get carried away and ingredients have limited supply. Who would know this unless you've done it several times, right? So they have like a decathlon with themed events. Okay, so some of their favorite events, sky high pie face. Basically, you scoop it in your hand, throw it straight up, and catch it in your face or your mouth. Okay?
I like this.
Point blank. Whip a hunk of cream at someone within 6 feet of each other. So you just whip it. Okay? High fives. This is a good one. Fill both hands with cream and give someone a double high five.
Nice.
Double high five. Smearing. exactly what you think. Hair salon. Pretend like it's hair product and style someone's hair with whipped cream. Smashing. Cover your body, then chest bump or run into each other. And he also included birds and bees, which he notes is for adults only. You can imagine what that would involve.
Gross!
The question is,
Yeah, baby! Yeah!
The question is, how do you clean up? So it's very simple. It reminds me of barbarian spaghetti. People get all worried and worked up about
What
it.
are the
It's really
consequences?
not that hard.
What are the consequences?
If you're in your backyard, simply hosing down after a fight works fine. If you have a dog, they can lick it up. If you're in a public park, bring towels and water and clean off. He says it's more fun in a public park because people look at you like you're nuts and get mad because their family is boring. And then finally he says, why did you do it and continue to do it? If you need a reason to have a whipped cream fight with your family, perhaps there are larger problems you have to deal with first. I cannot argue with that at all. I love this. Okay, where is it? Back here. You can see, if you can see real little, there's a person back there laying behind them that I can only imagine. They're like, what is going on? So this is what they did. They live in New York City. Now they have a little cover because there's weird people walking around New York all the time.
Yeah,
but
why not be one of the weird people? This is 93%.
This is
optimal amount.
Yeah, this is right to the limit, but not going over.
Right.
All right.
You have not crossed into the 94, so good for you guys. This is beautiful.
Yeah, Mike says that you need chocolate syrup.
Ooh, take it up a notch.
If you're gonna get sticky.
I mean, Scott, if you're here still, I'd love to hear your perspective on that. Because is it better to keep it simple, or do you add a couple things?
I don't know. Oh, here. Well, Scott says this. We regret nothing. I love that. Nicole, spray with a garden hose. Exactly. Yeah. It's not that hard.
I think this should be the secondary prescription for the week. If anyone wants to take a shot at this and share pictures,
that's
getting hot.
The prescription was keep going, right? When you're in a rough spot, keep going. Give it one more day. So if today's not going good, maybe you just need to put whatever it is you were working on off to the side, bring out the Cool Whip, and go crazy with it. And then
just tell us how it goes.
The next day is automatically going to be better. There's no doubt about that, right?